Hey, Genevieve, how you doing?
I'm so much better than last week.
Good. Excellent. Glad to hear it. I got to ask Jill too, but she's still at home nursing her cold. Catherine, how are you doing?
Mm, both. Not so good.
Uh, yeah, I know the feeling. Um,
I just I just need some
maybe
time.
are you going to come to classes this weekend?
Oh yes, yes. But I will see what I can do because I'm so tired all the time. It's so annoying.
Is this a result of the medication?
Yes, and also the fact that my high blood pressure right now is not down. So
Wow.
yet. So
Okay, so maybe after class on Saturday, you can stay after class for a minute and just fill me in a little bit on how you're feeling and what's going on, so I know.
I just have high blood pressure. But I will have some other test tomorrow. I have a cardiac ultrasound and all kind of really boring stuff. Um, so it's why I'm in Paris because it's easier to get those
Yeah,
tests quickly.
yeah.
Um, I also need to be home. I mean, anyway, I'm not like dying yet, but I'm just like I just have a reminder that I'm just passing by on Earth and I just need to be careful.
I know exactly how you feel. Both Annie and I do. You know, we're in the last quarter. We're in the last
Yeah.
quarter of the game, and I'm not sure how long the game's going to keep going on. So, but you got to try to take care of yourself in the meantime. All right. Well,
Thank you for asking.
okay. All right. Well, we're thinking about you. Jill, how are you doing? I was just talking about you and saying you had a cold. How are you feeling?
Yes. I am doing much
You
better.
sound better. Yeah.
Um, I this cold came with a horrendous cough,
Yeah.
and so I've been hacking up a lung, uh,
Uh,
and now it's kind of finally settled down. So yeah,
yeah. Yeah. I can remember back in was it 2010 or 2011 when the swine flu came through San Francisco and both Annie and I got it, and the cough almost killed us. It was awful. All right, guys. Everybody, take care of yourselves. All right? Do some Qigong. And the other side. And reverse. And shoe circles. And reverse. And ping circles. And reverse. And reverse. And block. Okay, you can put away your sticks. So I'm going to tell you guys a story before we go on. When I practiced with Master Zhang, I practiced at a practice weight of 220 pounds. I'm now 260 pounds. So in the 5 years we've been up here in Southwest Washington, I put on 40 pounds. And that's because I don't get out and move anymore. When I practiced with Master Zhang, we had 3 3-hour classes a week, and I would go up to the university and practice in their dance studios every morning, and yada, 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 yada. I kept really active. But up here, I sit on my ass in front of a computer. And one of the effects of that is my right hip is giving me real trouble right now. So just to walk around, it's not like it's agonizing or anything, but I can really feel it. And it partly comes because Annie and I have a small, kind of low sports car sort of thing. And to get down into that car and out of that was no problem at 220 pounds, but it is a problem at 260 pounds. So, I'm making a public declaration. I'm going to lose that 40 pounds at a minimum and maybe get all the way down to my high school wrestling weight of 200 pounds, all right? That would mean I have to lose 60 pounds. Now, for me, knowing myself, I have a terrible sweet tooth. So this has to be military. It's a military campaign, right? No milk, no sweets, no desserts, and no carbs of any kind. In other words, I'm going to go on a Paleolithic diet. It's meat all the time, right? And all the veggies you can eat. No problem with that. You just got to stay away from sugar and refined foods, right? Okay, now I've declared this to you guys, so now you have to keep me honest, all right? I weighed in this morning at 255. So once you I know what's going to happen because I've done this before. I started yesterday. I started on the all-meat diet. All-meat diet, and he brought me a big plate of meat. All right. Well, fortunately, I like meat, so right. But what will happen is my body will go into ketosis, and when it does that, it starts to live off its own fat. It eats its own fat, and that's for me the only way I lose any weight. However, there's a transition. Usually between week 1 and week 2, you go through something called a ketosis flu. And you will feel like you've got the flu. You will be nauseous and have achy body and yada, yada, yada. Once you get past that, the body kind of adjusts, and it's like, okay, I can live with this, you know. Why do I eat too much? Why do I eat sweets? It's stress. I don't drink, I don't smoke, so I eat, right? And so I'm going to have to cut that stuff out. Either that or get a different car, right? But I really don't like feeling my hip going out. My cousin Lori was a member of the first dance troupe for Lines down there in San Francisco. She was a ballet, but she had to have both hips replaced in the last 10 years or so. So I know it's good, I know they can do it, but I would prefer not to do it. I'm pounding it right on the place that hurts right now. And you guys ought to know Annie has MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome. So she is highly, it's not actually an allergy, but it essentially acts like an allergy. She's allergic to almost everything she eats. So she has to cook everything and she has to eat it fresh. You can't even let it sit in the fridge overnight because what do you call it? You know, when they make beer, right? So anyway, it will up its own histamine level, and that will trigger a reaction in her. So when she's not here, it's because she's dealing with that. You know, she looked at the wrong flower, you know, or tree, and she's dealing with a histamine reaction to that. I'm telling you this, guys, because I want you to understand that both Annie and I deal with kind of ongoing problems. And if I ask you about your health, it's not because I think there's anything I can do about it. It's because I feel like we're all friends and it's just like talking about our stuff with each other and just letting each other know, well, okay, this week's not so hot, maybe next week will be better, right? I am concerned about you guys, of course, the same way I'm concerned about me and Annie. And we do these exercises, and Annie does them when she can. Because if I didn't do these exercises every day, honest to God, I swear, I'll tell you, I wouldn't be here. I would have left 10 years ago. Because without keeping everything moving and keeping your chi moving, things just kind of puddle up, and when they puddle up, you go down really quick. So, well, let's just do some Qigong, all right? Okay. Head turns. And center. And head rolls. And down to center and reverse. And down to center and back up. Forward spinal wave. And reverse. And good. The qua. And reverse. And good. Belly rolls. And reverse. And good. The windmill. And good. The grindstone. And reverse. And all the way. And reverse. And good. You see this guy? This guy here? That's Bruce Francis. And he, I think he's moved now, but for years he lived up in Marin County. And he has a really interesting connection to our school. Back in 1981, Bruce Francis was a young gun, let's say. And he went to China, and he said, he went around to the various martial arts clubs, and he said, I want to see whether you guys are any good. And he was already a very accomplished martial artist. He had his own school in Illinois, I think, at that time, etc., etc. And he would challenge these guys, and he beat every one of them. The Chinese are very touchy about foreigners beating them because of their history. I don't blame them a bit. All right? He got to Beijing, went to the Beijing Wushu team, and beat them too. Wushu is Chinese for martial arts. And basically what he said is, you guys are all talk. You can't actually do it. All right? Whoa, that's like a glove thrown down. So the head coach of the Wushu team called up Master Feng and said, I would like you to come and meet this young American who wants a lesson in Tai Chi. So Master Feng went to the university. He already knew all those guys. Went to the university, And Bruce and he talked a little bit, and they agreed to do something called touch hands, right? To do a little sparring. Now, sparring's not fighting. Fighting's fighting's like maybe one of us won't leave the ring alive. Sparring is you're not going to you're not going to try to injure each other. So, right, they tie up, and Bruce tries something, and Master Funk throws him on his ass. It's the first time Bruce has ever been thrown on his ass. And he gets up and he goes, okay, let's try something else. And they try something else, and Master Funk throws him on his ass again. And Bruce stands up and said, okay, finally, someone who knows what they're doing. And he went home, and he actually quit teaching so that he could start to study Chen-style Tai Chi. The northern Midwest of the United States, at least in 1981, I don't know what it's like now, but gets very cold and icy in the winter. And that winter, Bruce hit some black ice, his car went off the road, and his back was broken in 5 places. And they told him, you will never do martial arts again. We don't even think you're going to be able to walk. So for the next 2 years, Bruce lay on his back in bed, and he did Qigong in his mind. And after 2 years, he got up and started walking. And after 4 years, he was doing martial arts again. And he went on to a long career in martial arts, another 35 or 40 years. Even doing this in your mind, because your chi will follow your mind. I swear to God, I mean it. I know that it's true. Just use your mind if you can't move. If you've got to lay on your back and you can't move, use your mind to move the chi through your body. If you have to sit in a chair, that's fine. Sit in the chair. Do what you can. If you need to sit down during practice, sit down. If you're like Annie and you get halfway through and you have to go lay down, that's okay too. Just keep things moving a little bit. I'm going to finish today with a story. I know you've heard it all before, right? But a good story is always worth repeating. You see that hot water heater? All right. 2 years ago, that hot water heater stopped working. And we got the plumbers in here, and they futzed around and charged us $1,200. And it worked, honest to God, I swear. It worked for 3 days, and then it stopped working again. And I thought, oh God, these inline water heaters are expensive. It's like $5,000 to get a new one installed. And I woke up one morning, and as I was waking up, this little voice in my head, I have little voices in my head, right? This little voice in my head said, you've got to treat it like a pet. Well, what do you, and I think, that was it. Then the little voice went away. And it was like, well, what do you mean? And the answer was, you have to treat it like a pet. It's a member of the family. Thank it for doing a good job. Pet it, praise it, make it part of the family. I went, oh, all right. And I did that for 2 or 3 days. And then one morning I turned the hot water on, and there was hot water. And there's been hot water every day since without any problem. And I am so grateful for that. Now, maybe that was just all coincidence. Or maybe you need to treat it like a pet. And you are the same way. You need to treat yourself like a pet. You need to thank yourself for doing a good job. And praise yourself for getting you this far. All right. So, guys, take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Pet yourselves. All right. Running with Sherman, Christopher McDougall, how a rescue donkey inspired a ragtag gang of runners to enter the craziest race in America. That sounds like something I would absolutely love to read.
It's exactly what you said, except that the hot water heater is an actual animal, Sherman, who has been terribly
Abused.
neglected, and
Yeah.
his hooves are like 4 times bigger than they should be because no one ever trimmed anything. I read this book in like 2 days in a pure depression. I didn't want to be alive, but I read it and it was exactly like you said. It's all about Qigong without ever mentioning Qigong. And I really recommend it to everyone today.
That's good. Well, I'll put that one on the website because we could all stand to have our spirits bucked up a little bit. It's a tough time right now in the world, and it's liable to get more tough. So, one of the things you may not know it, but one of the things you guys are doing in this class is learning to be warriors. And the first thing a warrior learns is you got to take care of yourself. All right. Okay, guys, have yourselves a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.
Ciao.